holiday, happy holiday, while the merry bells keep ringing.
Welcome to our webinar, "'Tis the Season to be Healthy." John, Donna, Deb, that's me, and Kate look forward to a festive presentation with you today. The holidays are the most wonderful time of the year. At least that's what we're told. We're bombarded with images of what the perfect holiday looks like. There are commercials on TV, music on the radio, magazine covers with amazing holiday displays, and pictures of friends on Facebook with dozens of beautiful cookies that they baked and surrounded by family, and everyone has a big smile. Everything looks picture perfect. But for many people, this time of year is also a source of stress. There are work demands, travel, family, gifts, shopping, cooking, decorating, baking, parties, cleaning, and the list goes on. What can we do to manage all the demands and emotions that come with this time of year? Well, today I'm going to give you 10 practical tips suggested by the Mayo Clinic for dealing with the stress of the holidays. The first tip is acknowledging your feelings. What feelings come up for you when you think of the holidays? Like I just mentioned, this time of year may not be so wonderful for everyone. It may be a difficult time because someone may have lost a loved one recently, or perhaps they don't have family or friends to share the holidays with. Or it could just be a feeling of frustration with all the crowds and long lines, or that Amazon package that was supposed to be delivered yesterday but still hasn't arrived. Whatever you're feeling, acknowledge it, name it. Understand where that feeling is coming from. Just being aware of how we're feeling is an important first step. Talking about feelings with someone else often helps us to feel better. So, for some, the holidays can bring up feelings of loneliness, sadness, or stress. This is a good time to reach out to others, and this looks different for different people. Maybe joining a community club or participating in a religious activity would be helpful. Or maybe talking with a friend or family member about how you're feeling, whether that's in person or even through video chat. Or perhaps it's volunteering. So according to the Mayo Clinic, volunteering has a positive impact on both physical and mental health. It provides a sense of purpose and it increases social interactions. So whether you prefer one-on-one interactions, small groups, or large groups, this is a good time to reach out and strengthen your social supports. As the holiday season approaches, we have unrealistic expectations of what the holidays will be like and how much we can accomplish. We set the bar so high and aim for perfection that it leads to elevated stress levels, and ultimately, we just feel disappointed that our picture-perfect holiday never happened. Maybe it would be healthier for us to say something like, "It's not perfect, but it's good enough." It's helpful to keep in mind what's important to you and prioritize whatever that is. Before you start all the holiday preparations, acknowledge that things may not go exactly as planned. So if your holiday plans look more like this video clip,
they're staying at home.
I give you the Griswold family Christmas tree.
Hope you're not getting sap all over your sweater.
then you just go with it. Sometimes it's just good enough. If possible, try to set aside these differences and talk about them at another time. Keep in mind that people may be more stressed and emotions may be running higher at this time of year. Avoiding certain topics may be a good choice. Stick to a budget. Decide what you can afford to spend on food and gifts, and then stick to your budget. Make a shopping list before going to the grocery store and try not to be tempted by all the holiday food displays. Stick to the list. In terms of gifts, it's easy to get carried away and forget how much money you spent. So try making a list of who you'll buy gifts for and what gift that will be. Stick to the budget that you set up. You can get creative with your gift giving, like giving homemade gifts or exchanging names so you only buy for one person in the group. In my family, as we got older and our family kept growing, we tried different themes each year. So for example, one year we had a book exchange. We all bought a book that we had enjoyed reading, and you didn't even need to purchase a new one. You could give the one you just read. And we shared a little bit about the book and why we liked it, and then we all got to choose which one we wanted. And it was just something fun and different to do, but it also was something personal and economical. It's easy to overspend during the holidays, so creating a budget and sticking to it will help alleviate some of the stress, including that post-holiday stress. Plan ahead. Set aside specific days for shopping, baking, connecting with friends, and other activities. Consider whether you can shop online for any of your items. Plan your menus and then make your shopping list. That'll help prevent those last-minute trips to the store to get the forgotten ingredients. Think about what makes you happy and try to maximize those moments during the holidays, whether that's baking cookies or sitting by a fire reading a book. If you start to feel anxious about spending an entire weekend together with extended family or your in-laws, you can plan ahead and go to a local attraction in the area. And don't forget to delegate jobs to other people. Make sure to line up help for meal prep, cleanup, gift wrapping, or whatever is most helpful for you. Being organized and planning ahead will help make the stress level more manageable. Learn to say no. This can be a hard one for many of us. If saying yes to an activity or project makes you feel overwhelmed, then perhaps saying no is the way to go. There are so many activities and even obligations during the holidays, but it's okay to say no to some things. You don't need to donate cookies to every holiday event or go to every holiday party. Maybe staying home and watching a movie feels better to you, and that's okay. Keep healthy habits. Overindulgence is often part of the holiday season, and at the same time, we tend to neglect our healthy habits like exercise, balanced nutrition, and adequate sleep. And Kate and Jonathan will go more in depth about these topics in a few minutes, but meanwhile, here are a few suggestions to keep in mind. You can have a healthy snack before holiday meals or going to a party so that you don't go overboard on sweets or drinks. Eat healthy meals, get plenty of sleep, include regular physical activity each day. Try deep breathing exercises, meditation, or yoga for relaxation. Avoid excessive tobacco and alcohol use. And finally, be aware of how much time is spent watching the news and browsing social media, since both can add to increased stress levels. Take a breather. Slow down and make some time for yourself. Find an activity you enjoy. Take a break by yourself. Spending just 15 minutes alone without distractions may refresh you enough to handle everything you need to do. Find something that reduces stress and helps clear your mind, like for example, maybe taking a walk at night and looking at the stars, or sitting down and doing a puzzle. For some people, an activity like going to the gym and working out for 30 minutes may be more of a stress reliever. Know yourself and what rejuvenates you. The bottom line is just to take time for yourself. And finally, seek professional help if needed. Despite your best efforts, you may find yourself feeling persistently sad or anxious, unable to sleep, irritable, hopeless, or just unable to face daily routines. If these feelings last for a while, talk to your doctor or a mental health professional. And now let's hear from Kate about mindfulness and nutrition during the holidays.
As a registered dietitian, I really like to encourage my clients to practice mindfulness around the holidays. Mindfulness is defined as the basic human ability to be fully present. Sounds wonderful, right? But maybe a bit challenging during a busy holiday season. Practicing mindful eating not only helps you to savor the flavor on the holiday foods, but to stay present in your meals. Practicing mindful eating can help you to learn what your body wants and needs and how to best nourish it. Mindful eating has many components, but today I would like to share just a few thoughts to get you thinking. Starting off with a self-check-in. Ask yourself questions like, how do I feel during the holidays? What emotions do I have? And how do these emotions show up around food and drinks? By pausing and reflecting, we may be better equipped to be more mindful in our choices and our focus during the holiday season when it comes to our nutrition. Next, try honoring your hunger and fullness. Honoring your hunger might include allowing yourself to enjoy some of your favorite holiday foods instead of avoiding them all. This can increase satisfaction and decrease the chances of overeating due to feeling unsatisfied. You can also honor your hunger by working to identify physical versus mental hunger. Here are just a few ways to help distinguish them. Physical hunger usually develops gradually, where mental hunger might appear suddenly. Physical hunger can often be felt in the stomach, where mental hunger might be a thought that you just can't get out of your head. Furthermore, with physical hunger, many types of foods will sound good to us, whereas mental hunger might push us towards one type of food or comfort food. And finally, physical hunger will stop once your stomach is full, where mental hunger may push you to be uncomfortable or past your point of fullness. Just like we want to honor our hunger, we also want to be mindful of our fullness. It can be easy to get wrapped up around food during the holidays, so continue to slow it down and check in with yourself between servings and even between bites to better gauge your body's cues. Another component of mindful eating is being more present with your food. This may seem like common sense, but this is often something that is really missed in our day-to-day lives. Some tips to help you be more present with food include slowing down your eating. Also, be aware of what you are eating. Instead of mindlessly picking at food, try to serve yourself a plate of food. By serving yourself and finding a place to sit or relax, your body and mind will recognize and appreciate a meal versus mindlessly eating or even trying to tiptoe around a table to figure out what you want. Also, try slowing down by spending time in conversation and finding a comfy place to eat when possible. Taking time to savor the flavors of your food can also help you to be more present. It can be pretty easy to finish eating and realize, wow, I didn't even taste that meal or that snack. Our brains get so distracted and go into autopilot sometimes. Some ways to savor the flavors include thinking through your different senses, like how does this taste? What does it smell like? What's the texture? To increase mindfulness, try playing a game with yourself and pretend that you are reviewing the food item, or think about how the food might have been prepared. Small thoughts can help you to be more present with your food and fully enjoy it more. There's a lot to know about mindful eating, but I hope these tips help you to start to explore that further. Next, let's talk about decorating our plate. The holidays are a great time to incorporate some foods that are not part of your regular menu. Holiday and seasonal foods provide a variety of textures, colors, spices, and nutrients, and serve as a great addition to your typical plate. Let's walk through the 5 food groups and identify where your common holiday foods might fall. Things like turkey, ham, fish, hummus, beans, nuts, and seeds contribute to your protein group. You'll find dairy in foods like cheese or fun dips and spreads. Fruits might show up in dried options or desserts this time of year. And veggies are likely to be found blended in soups, roasted as side dishes, or even raw for appetizers. Finally, find your grains in things like casseroles, rice, crackers, dinner rolls, and so forth. You can use a variety of your favorite holiday dishes to create a healthy and balanced plate. And pairing multiple food groups together really helps you to decorate that plate. Oftentimes during the holidays, we are very focused on what we should or can't have, or what we should cut out to make things healthier. And I'd like to switch that up a bit and challenge you to think of what you can add to improve the nutrition quality of your food. By focusing on adding nutrients in food groups, we are actually setting ourselves up for more success. Consider adding fiber from foods like fruits, nuts, whole grains, starchy vegetables, and so forth to increase satisfaction and keep you full. You might even try practicing adding consistent eating points to your day. It can be pretty tempting to skip breakfast or lunch if you know that you have an upcoming event that'll have food. However, this can really lead to potentially being very hungry and may even cause you to overeat. Try to keep your regular routine during the day with your meals and snacks before attending a holiday event. Try adding more water for hydration. In the colder months, it's easy to overlook this, but with the addition of fiber, salt, and sometimes alcohol around the holidays, water will be important. Lastly, when you focus on adding food groups, this will actually naturally rearrange your plate and will bring you more balance. Shortly, I will show you some recipe examples that use holiday foods, but focus on adding different nutrients. But first, let's talk through nutrition mindset during the holidays. As you learned from Deb, mindset around the holidays is very important, and the same goes for nutrition around the holidays, and this is something that I often discuss with my clients. Today, I chose to talk about a few common themes that clients share with me regarding their nutrition mindset. During the holidays, it's common to experience external stressors or pressures to your nutrition mindset. This time of year, I often hear about what I like to call food pushers. A food pusher is someone who urges you to eat or continue eating and can often persuade you outside of your own mindfulness. Usually, a food pusher's intention is not bad, but it can easily cause tension for someone trying to be mindful. When food pushers come around, practice saying no. It's okay to say no without any explanation, but if you're not quite comfortable doing that, you can try some of the options I have listed here. Something like, I am full right now, but your dish was delicious, or I'd like to take some to go, or would you share the recipe? Whatever you choose to do, remember that you don't have to eat anything you don't want to. Internal challenges to your nutrition mindset are just as important to address as external ones. Deb shared with us today about the stress that trying to have a picture-perfect holiday can bring, and that being realistic is important for our mindset. The same goes for our nutrition mindset. Clients share stress around the holidays related to aiming for nutrition perfectionism. I often hear clients say things like, I ruined my day with eating desserts, so I just gave up and will start tomorrow. Or I ate too much Friday evening, so the weekend's pretty much ruined. I'll have to start again Monday. The idea of having to have a perfect nutrition setup is unrealistic and not sustainable in the long term. Think to yourself, how might holidays be different if I allowed myself to enjoy the foods I'm craving while also continuing to nourish my body in the way that it needs? Allowing a variety of foods that can help to alleviate some of the pressure and take away the feelings of guilt or shame around the holiday eating. Finding a balance and moving away from that perfectionist mindset can reduce the chances of overeating and can allow you to tune into your body and what it really wants and needs during the holidays. Another thing to consider is your perspective. Remember that food is not only there to provide our bodies with energy and important nutrients, but also serves as an important purpose in our culture, as a way to connect with others, or even a way to carry on traditions. It would be unfortunate to have these unrealistic and perfectionist mindsets take away from special traditions and customs that food brings to the table. This is such a vast concept, but I hope that diving in just a bit today is enough to get your wheels turning as you think about your own nutrition mindset approaching the holidays. The last few slides about nutrition are some different recipe ideas. As I go through the different recipes, take notice of how nutrition was added, not subtracted. Here we have a roasted butternut squash harvest bowl that uses many fall ingredients. Many swaps can be made to this as well, such as replacing squash with sweet potatoes, carrots, or even beets. You could save time by using frozen produce, and this is really nice to save for leftovers as well. Next, we have a turkey and cranberry apple wrap. This could make for a great quick lunch or dinner, and it uses some of our common Thanksgiving leftovers. Notice how fiber in the wrap was added to help round out this lunch or dinner? Feel free to swap out condiments too for ones that you might prefer. Here we have another quick meal idea, zucchini and ham flatbread. This could be great to make and have out for people to eat while preparing for a larger event. This is also a great meal to serve if you have people with different food preferences, as you could do a create your own flatbread or switch up the ingredients pretty easily. I liked the idea of using leftover ham around the holidays, but there are a lot of options you can use. We certainly can't forget about breakfast either. So here we have a potato and turkey breakfast casserole. This is a great make-ahead recipe that you can have ready in the morning, and maybe it'll even help to avoid missing breakfast on busy holidays. I chose this because it has several food groups in just one dish. Your leftovers can even last up to 3 days in the fridge. You can also do a lot of variety with this recipe as well, such as making it vegetarian by taking out some of the meats and replacing with veggies. If you don't like kale, you could even replace with spinach or Swiss chard, or even replace the tomatoes with peppers. This is a very versatile breakfast casserole, so have fun with it. And we certainly have to pull in a soup for this time of year, so here we have a roasted butternut squash soup with kale chips. As I mentioned earlier, soup is a great way to use leftovers, but also to have different food groups. This soup offers some seasonal produce and nutrients into your day. I chose this appetizer of mini cheese bites because cheese is a pretty popular thing to have around the holidays. I thought this recipe did a nice job at taking a favorite, food and even making it miniature size so that you could try a couple different items. This recipe also does a good job at showing how adding nutrients can be very beneficial. Here, extra nutrition was added with some heart-healthy fats in the walnuts, and there's even some different, herbs and chives that you could use. Another fun appetizer and a great way to use that extra can of pumpkin is making pumpkin hummus. You can even get the family involved and have fun picking out your dippers, something like ginger snaps, veggies, pretzels, apple slices, and so forth. I also wanted to include some sweet tooth type recipes, but ones not commonly seen, such as this baked pear recipe. Pears are great and in season around the holidays, as well as pomegranate. You can save leftovers for these for up to 3 days, and you can also swap out nuts for granola or use pumpkin seeds or even dried cranberries in place of pomegranate. This could be a fun way to have your own topping bar. Lastly, I picked this baked apple recipe because it was done in a slow cooker and is pretty convenient. If you don't have a slow cooker, you can place the apples in a foil-lined pan and cook at 350 degrees for 45 to 60 minutes. What a great way to include some of our food groups, but with a fun twist. Feel free to serve with something like yogurt, ice cream, or whipped cream, and enjoy.
Now, how about them apples? My name is John, and I will be talking to you about exercise and the holidays. When it comes to exercising regularly, it is just like everything else. You might be thinking, what does he mean by that? Well, it requires a time commitment and consistency. If it is important, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. Change requires you to get out of your comfort zone, and you will feel uncomfortable. That is normal, so don't get discouraged, stick to the plan, and go for it. Let's talk briefly about creating habits which requires change. In a study by researcher Philippa Lally, it was determined that new habits were created between 18 and 254 days. So even if you were on the latter side of that range, I want you to think about the changes that you have been wanting to make but haven't committed to yet. In less than a year, your life could change drastically, and we want you to know that you can do it. Believe in yourself. Many will say that it takes 21 days to create a habit, and that is because it is a short enough period to be believable, but long enough to make significant changes. However, it can take more than 2 months before a behavior can become automatic. 66 days is the number of days the study determined to be average. We have about 2.5 months left in this year, 80 days remaining in the year to be precise. Well, guess what? That is enough time to at least start creating habits prior to 2023. Remember, you must start where you are by being realistic. For example, if you have never ran a half marathon before and/or haven't been training in years, it probably isn't realistic for you to say that you will be doing a half marathon in 6 weeks. Is it possible? Yes, but it isn't recommended because you need to consider the potential for overuse injuries. You need to make sure that you don't try and compare yourself to anyone else. We are all on a different journey. Think about what you would like to accomplish and give yourself realistic timeframes. That leads me to talk about goal setting and daily affirmations. Goal setting and daily affirmations are the next step. You must maintain a positive attitude. You might be thinking to yourself, how can I be positive when I have this going on or that going on? Well, nearly 80% of the time, our minds will automatically go to negative thoughts. We need to train our minds to be positive. Will it be challenging? More than likely. Will it be worth it? Absolutely. Everything in life worthwhile doesn't come easy or without a price to pay. SMART goals are one of the best and most effective ways to set goals. This acronym stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. One of my coaches when I was an athlete taught me a great saying, KISS, keep it simple, silly. Some of you may know it as something else. You should keep these goals in a place that you will see them every day. These can be short-term and/or long-term goals. Some will use a poster board and refer to it as a dream board, but personally I like to call it a vision board. An example of a great goal for most people may be to maintain their weight until New Year's Day because they normally gain weight over the holidays. It might be to participate in a turkey trot 5K and finish under 30 minutes or walk the entire race to say that you completed your first 5K. Whatever your goal is, remember that is your goal. Have you ever heard of affirmations? The definition of affirmation is the action or process of affirming something or being affirmed. An affirmation could be written as, I am 10 pounds lighter than I was 3 months ago. Many will say that affirmations are ways to speak things into existence. The daily affirmations should be written at least every morning. Some leaders encourage journaling to track your progress. What that means is to journal the things that you did that day to get you closer to your goals. So write your goals and affirmations in the morning and journal your progress every night. Next, you need to find someone in your life that would be willing to help hold you accountable to your goals. We are all more likely to do something if we announce our goals to others. This is someone that you can trust and rely on. This person could be a positive influence or a person that you can trust and rely on, or someone that may have been through what you are shooting for. They can help you because they may have experienced it themselves and get you through the challenges. Examples of a support or accountability partner could be a friend, coworker, or even a Connect Care 3 health coach. I encourage you to take advantage with the time that we have left in the year and obtain a gym membership or even invest in some equipment to use at home. When you think of New Year's resolutions, what do you think most people want to do? Eat healthier and lose weight? The biggest advantage that you have right now is that fitness centers will not be as crowded this time of year compared to January 1st. Another benefit is exercise could help reduce the stress of the holidays, even if you use this time just to start a routine. Also, if you commit now to your new habits during the busy holiday season, can you imagine how much easier it will be after the holidays? Finally, choose some fun holiday activities to participate in And next, we will look at some traditional activities. Today is October 12th, and fall is in full swing. You have football back, playoff baseball, hockey season starting, and fall festivals. Many people spend time going to craft shows, corn mazes, and haunted houses. It is this new season that comes with change. What changes are you going to make in this new season? What are some activities that you could do this year around the holidays to be active and exercise? One of the most popular events that comes to my mind around the holidays are turkey trots. They usually have 5K and 10K distances. Some have a 1 mile distance for kids, which is cool because it gives them an opportunity to be active. Now, some people may be able to just go and complete these distances without much preparation, but others would need to spend more time preparing, which is okay. We will cover the preparation in more detail in a couple minutes. Other fun activities include playing flag football on Thanksgiving, ice skating, a snowball fight, and obviously another one is sledding, but they both require snow. The weather is unpredictable, and some may have the opportunity for these activities around Thanksgiving. Many families will get their trees for the holidays. Instead of going to a local stand along the road or the big box store like Lowe's or Home Depot, try going to a local tree farm to cut your own tree. Many of these places offer a hayride option, but take a walk. Spend quality time with your family. Take the time to look at the different trees. Slow down and don't rush. Things to remember: a saw and a rope or a wagon. It may be an enjoyable, unforgettable activity to do with your family, especially if you have kids. These are moments that they will never forget. Let this be a breath of fresh air. Other traditions that are associated with the holidays are dancing and caroling, and can keep you active and having fun while doing these activities. Many families now are coordinating walks with their loved ones after big meals. I encourage you all to be active after your meal before sitting to relax, because you can still spend time with your family and talk while walking. Wouldn't you agree that it would be nice to take a 30 to 45-minute walk? Now, I already mentioned turkey trots and Santa fun runs, but let's get back to them and discuss some training tips. There are turkey trots and Santa fun runs that take place every year all over the United States. Here's a fun fact: the oldest turkey trot in Buffalo, New York has been going on since 1896. These are fun events because participants will run in Thanksgiving-themed outfits. For those of you that have thought about trying something new or want to be a part of an event like this, why not try it this year? Don't know where to start? Well, I have a few tips that I would like to share with you and encourage you to attempt something new. If you have never done a 5K before, there are several programs out there that you can choose from to prepare. These programs are referred to as Couch to 5K or something along those lines. One of the best recommendations that I can make to prepare is by following one of the Couch to 5K programs. They typically range from 9 to 12 weeks, which, as you know, we are about 6 weeks from Thanksgiving, but you could at least prepare and see how you feel as Thanksgiving approaches. The programs are usually free or may be found on an inexpensive app on your mobile device. Next, choose someone to help hold you with accountability. It could be a friend, a family member, or even a health coach. They will be able to encourage you when you don't really feel like doing a workout or a training run. During this training, I recommend that you at least check in with them weekly and more often as the event gets closer. The last piece to this training is optional. Many people find value in training with someone for events like this. So find yourself a training partner that may even be a fellow participant. Often, a training partner will help push you to go faster, and it is another level of accountability. For example, one of my clients wanted to train for a 10K and finish the race in under an hour. We trained multiple days per week together, and I ran the race with him. We finished in under an hour, and he leaped across the finish line with a great big smile. Afterwards, he said to me, "John, thank you. I would not have been able to do this without you." He was emotional because that goal meant so much to him. Lastly, let's finish out the exercise portion of the presentation today by discussing non-traditional activities for the holidays. We just discussed some traditional ways that people exercise around the holidays. Now let's go outside the box. I would like to encourage everyone to create their own unique traditions. One article had some fun ideas that I would like to share. The writer provided some great ideas to consider: milk jug squats, gift wrap runs, cookie push-ups, soup can curls, or even a post-feast walk. With the milk jugs, do 6 to 8 squats with a gallon of milk in each hand while you put your groceries away. Gift wrap runs. Wrap 2 gifts and run up and down your steps 3 times and repeat until finished. Cookie push-ups. While your cookies are baking, perform 5 push-ups and do 5 sets. Perform soup can curls when you are cooking. Grab some full cans of soup and do those bicep curls. Complete 2 to 3 sets, 10 repetitions per set. We briefly talked about this last one earlier. A post-feast walk, and encourage at least one member of your family to take a 45-minute walk with you. Hopefully, you will all be safe and healthy during this holiday season. You are 43% less likely to use sick days if you walk daily. I wish you and your family a memorable holiday season. Now that you're thinking outside the box, let's keep it going with some unusual winter traditions with Donna.
Okay, the winter solstice is the day of the year with the fewest hours of daylight, and it marks the start of astronomical winter. So after the winter solstice, days start becoming longer and nights shorter as spring approaches. There are a variety of traditions in the U.S. and around the world that celebrate the arrival of winter and its associated holidays. So I thought I'd share some unusual winter traditions with you from around the globe. All right, the first one is the shoe toss in the Czech Republic, and I'm sure many of you have experienced the bouquet toss to the unmarried women at a wedding reception, and whoever catches it is said to be the next in line to get married. Well, there's a similar tradition in the Czech Republic for single ladies, and it involves shoes. So the shoe toss occurs on Christmas Day when an unmarried woman throws a shoe over her shoulder towards a door. If the shoe lands with the toe pointing toward the door, there will be a wedding. But if it lands with the heel facing the door, the woman can expect to be single throughout the next year. Now we're off to China. The Dongzhi festival is a Chinese festival that celebrates the arrival of the winter solstice. It usually falls on December 21, 22, or 23, and it celebrates the beginning of another solar term. The Chinese believe the unhappiness of the past has gone and a new life begins. In northern China, where temperatures dip into negative numbers, the custom is to eat dumplings. The tradition started in ancient times when a doctor provided the poor homeless people of his town dumplings in the hope of keeping their ears from getting frostbite. Because of this, some of the dumplings are shaped like ears. The people of South China have a tradition of eating glutinous rice balls called tong ren, and these are specially cooked balls of rice that might have a filling of bean paste or meat with sweet high yang herbs. These are usually pink or white colored. Tong ren is often served in a bowl with a sweet soup or broth. Now we're in Romania, where there's a tradition that takes place on New Year's Eve. Carolers dance through the streets wearing bearskins that have been passed down through generations. They make scary faces and noises in order to drive away evil spirits and to help enrich the soil for the new year. They are accompanied by drummers and a bear tamer. And this tradition started centuries ago, and at that time they actually used live bears that were paraded down the streets. Even though the bear costumes look scary and sinister, it's actually a joyful celebration. Next is the Feast of Juul. This is a winter solstice festival observed in Scandinavia, and fires are lit to symbolize the heat, light, and life-giving properties of the returning sun. A Yule or Juul log is burned on the hearth in honor of the Scandinavian god Thor. A piece of the log is kept as both a token of good luck and as kindling for the next year's log. In other European countries, the Yule log is burned until nothing but ashes remain, which are collected and spread into the fields as fertilizer every night until the 12th night. They also use the ashes and incorporate it into a charm that can be worn around your neck. The Yalda Night marks the winter solstice in Iran, and the people of Iran believe this is the night of the sun's rebirth. It symbolizes the triumph of the sun over the darkness, even though the next 40 days are the coldest and harshest of the year. Pomegranates are especially important as they are believed to symbolize birth, revival, and the cycle of life. Their hard outer cover is the dawn or birth, while the bright red and delicious seeds inside are the glow of life. Yalda Night is celebrated by getting together with families to eat dried and fresh fruits such as pomegranates, watermelons, and apples. People play traditional Iranian games such as chess and backgammon. They tell old stories of their ancestors and they read poems. So now Italy is our next stop. Saturnalia, which is celebrated in Italy from December 17th to the 23rd, is an ancient Roman festival held to celebrate the agricultural god Saturn. During the celebration period, all activities come to a halt. Businesses, courts, schools, and other events stop while people spend time doing more fun activities like feasting and playing and gambling, singing, exchanging gifts, and decorating. Now moving on to Germany for the Krampus Run. So according to folk tales told in Germany and Austria, Krampus comes to towns on the night before St. Nicholas Day, and that's the night of December 5th this year. And Krampus is a gangly, half-goat, half-demon figure with a long tongue, fangs, and a set of pointed horns. He has basically an all-around just grotesque appearance, as you can see. The so-called Christmas devil travels with Santa and, according to the lore, punishes naughty children while Santa rewards the good. Typically, children leave their shoes out on their home's front porch on Krampus night. Nice children would wake up the next morning to find sweets in their shoes, and while the truly wicked would disappear, naughty children would have a rod in their shoes, serving as a warning to shape up or they would be next. A popular modern take on the tradition is known as Krampuslauf, and this tradition involves as many as 400 men and women who dress as Krampus and participate in a Krampus fun run. This is a parade-like event held at dusk, and unassuming people are chased by these devils during the parade. They whip the legs of children and steal hats. Krampus is also known to hand out Krampus schnapps, and it's a fruit brandy, and he gives it to the adults in the crowd. So we're headed to, in Norway, people hide their brooms on Christmas Eve before going to bed. It was believed that witches and other mischievous spirits stole brooms from households so they can ride on Christmas Eve. Now to the Night of Radishes in Mexico. It's a Christmas festival that is held for 3 days, beginning on December 23rd, and it includes carving vegetables, specifically oversized radishes. And they try to make them look like the Nativity and then, of course, symbols from Mexican folklore. Farmers began carving radishes into figures as a gimmick to attract customers' attention during the Christmas market.
And since then, it has turned into a competition and today attracts thousands of visitors who want to see the veggie creations. So now we're headed to the US. And the polar bear plunge. So it's a shocking, exhilarating, frigid swim in freezing water during the coldest time of the year, and it's usually held on New Year's Day. And participants gather at a designated time on the edge of a body of water where they all plunge into the frigid water at the same time after a blast on a whistle. The events are usually held to benefit a charity or to bring awareness to a cause. So you are actually freezing for a reason. All right, pickles on the Christmas tree, something we do here in the United States. The origin of this tradition is disputed, but one story claims that during the Civil War, Private John Lower was captured and taken prisoner. He was starving and he was given a pickle to eat on Christmas Eve, which he claims saved his life. So he started the tradition of hiding a pickle on the tree each year. Another theory is that it's an old tradition in Germany. The pickle was the last ornament hung on the tree, and the first child to find it got an extra gift and is assured of good luck in the coming year. The most plausible, but least exciting, is that the tradition is centered around money. And German glass blowers were creating glass ornaments that were shaped like fruits, nuts, and possibly pickles. In the 1880s, the F.W. Woolworth Company began importing the German ornaments. It's thought that the pickle ornaments weren't selling as well, so a crafty salesman came up with the German tradition story to sell more. Well, that's a wrap, folks. Happy holidays from Deb, John, Kate, and myself, and the whole Connect Care 3 team. We hope you enjoyed the webinar.